guys! Guess what? I'm going on a trip! For most Filipinos, catching a flight is something we're never late for, and I'm the same. I've always been pretty punctual. Whenever I fly, I usually leave home 3 to 4 hours before my flight. So I got to the airport at 9 a.m. for my 12:30 p.m. flight. The check-in counter wasn't open yet, so I decided to grab breakfast at Yapon Kaya Toast first. I got my fave combo, butter kaya toast and Milo. Check-in was smooth since I was one of the first few in line. It was my first time flying with Vietjet, and I'd only heard feedback from friends, which from what I gathered was generally negative. My experience though started off smooth with a fast check-in process until a last-minute notice that the flight was delayed by an hour and a half. I actually enjoy traveling and the whole flight experience. Maybe because I was quite pampered with Silk Air when they were still operating from Davao to Singapore, and with Singapore Airlines back in the day. That said, I can still get a bit nervous during takeoff. This flight's takeoff wasn't the smoothest, but the landing was perfect. Overall, I'd give the experience a 6.5 out of 10. I was told that immigration at Hanoi International Airport can get really crowded, but surprisingly, there was barely any queue. I cleared immigration in under 5 minutes, then took a ride to my Airbnb in the old quarter. After sitting down, I went out to have dinner and grabbed a drink at a local craft beer shop. I was tired and sleepy, so I went back to my Airbnb and got myself some good sleep. I woke up early the next morning to check if it's cold outside. I came to Hanoi end of January and it's still winter season there. I guess it wasn't as cold as the previous week when a friend told me she had to use a heater inside her house, so I kept my fit simple. I walked to a coffee shop near the Hoan Lake and had coconut coffee. It was really good. And after that, I had a quick stroll around the lake and savored the feeling of what it's like starting your day early and enjoying the area when it's not too crowded yet. I then took a bike exploring what's outside of Old Quarter. By that, I meant the pets of Vietnam. By the afternoon, I headed to Pizza 4-Piece. I remember someone telling me we'd try it back in Ho Chi Minh last December 2024, but we couldn't because of time constraints, so I figured I should finally go for it this time. I booked a table a few days in advance since they usually require reservations. I had a glass of white sangria while waiting for the half-and-half pizza and pasta I ordered. It was really good, but my big bag couldn't finish everything, so I had it packed for takeaway and walked back to my Airbnb to rest. Around 5 p.m., I went to this cafe I saw on TikTok just to see the hype, but honestly, it didn't really live up to my expectations. I sat by the window overlooking the street and Hoan Lake while sipping on the egg cocoa drink I ordered, which I didn't really like. But props to their fun note writing thingy. That was actually what I was there for. I then strolled around the lake a bit more to enjoy the night view, and it was really pretty. It was getting colder in the evening, so I was glad I bought a scarf on my way here, and I didn't realize that I was already walking through the French Quarter while I was heading toward the Hanoi Opera House, where the sightseeing bus departs. I booked my ticket on Klook, but they also have a booth that's easy to find. We passed through the Hoan Lake and some famous landmarks around the outskirts of the Old Quarter. The whole ride took about an hour and was definitely worth it. My face was freezing though. The temperature dropped to around 16 degrees that night. After the sightseeing bus tour, I had a quick dinner and stopped by a shop called Tired City on my way back to my Airbnb. I popped in just to see what they were selling. Their graphic tees and jackets are really nice, and everything they sell, pins, posters, postcards, and more, is designed by locals. I'd say it's worth checking out, although I didn't buy anything. Yet. I also walked past Deer Street on my way back to my Airbnb. It looked fun, but honestly, I preferred something more chill if I were to have a drink. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. the next morning and grabbed a quick breakfast at a pho place. I figured it would be smart to have a proper meal since I was going on a Halong Bay day cruise, which is a full-day itinerary. They picked everyone up around 7:30 a.m. and we were briefed on what the day would look like. Our tour guide was Oliver, and he was awesome. On the way to Halong, we stopped by a bamboo and silk place where they showed us how silk products are made and explained to us the benefits of household items made from bamboo. I was really tempted to buy a hair towel, but I decided to stick with my beloved towels back home, at least until they worn out. They had a big shop with lots of items like bags, underwear, clothing, bedding, and more. There was also a coffee shop near the exit where you could grab a quick drink before getting back on the bus. We arrived at the harbor around 11 a.m. I booked my day cruise with a cozy bay on Klook, which included pick up and drop off, a lunch buffet, and activities. Once everyone was on board, the guide gave us a quick briefing about the itinerary, which started off with a lunch buffet as we cruised toward the heart of Halong Bay. It's about an hour from the marina. The buffet spread was decent and they also had vegetarian options. Drinks weren't included, so bringing some cash is a good idea if you want something to drink. I shared a table with 5 other people, so if you're going solo, don't expect a private table. I intentionally inhaled my food so I'd have time to explore the cruise and enjoy the scenery. For those who don't know, Halong Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for its stunning seascapes of over 1,600 limestone islands rising from emerald waters. I googled that. But honestly, it was breathtaking, and I definitely come back for a 3 days, 2 nights cruise. After enjoying the views, we were asked to return to our tables for another briefing for our first stop, Songsup Cave. We were told we'd need to hike up to the cave and there's only one way in and out. Of course, I was there for the adventure, so I took on the challenge. The crowd going into the cave can feel a bit intimidating, but it gets better as you move along. It was very well lit inside, which actually made the stalactite formations even more impressive. I'd say it was an easy hike, and for those who are claustrophobic, this cave is still worth visiting and nothing to worry about. The hike was totally worth it. I mean, just look at that view from the top. I walked back to the meeting point, and from there, they took us to our second stop, which was another cave where you could either go kayaking or hop on a bamboo boat. I'm extra by nature, so of course I chose kayaking. It was a 2-seater kayak, and I shared it with another member of our group. Honestly, kayaking in a UNESCO World Heritage Site is such a flex. Our third and last stop was T-Top Island, where you can either swim or just chill and enjoy the panoramic view of the bay. It was really crowded around that time, so I decided to just stay not too far from the dock so I don't get lost. After that, we got back on the cruise for a sunset party on the top deck. We enjoyed some simple snacks prepared by the cruise company while sailing along Halong Bay, watching the sunset as we headed back to the marina to wrap up the day. We got on the same bus we took earlier that morning, and after about 3 hours with one pit stop, we arrived back at Hanoi Old Quarter. I grabbed a quick dinner and went back to my Airbnb to freshen up. The night was still young, so I decided to head out again and grab a drink at a rooftop bar overlooking the Hoan Kiem Lake. I had a mocktail and a beer while enjoying the night view for about an hour, then went back to my Airbnb and called it a day. Started my day 4 with a good bowl of pho from a place recommended by a friend. After that, I walked around the area for about 30 minutes before heading to a cafe for egg coffee. I ordered both hot and iced just to compare, and the iced one completely won my heart. I walked around the old quarter doing a bit of color hunting here and there, and savored Saturday morning with the locals when I stumbled into a shop that sells ceramic cups and tableware. They had so many cute designs, and after a solid hour of being indecisive, I finally got a cup and some small dishes for my jewelry. It was a really chill day. In the afternoon, I went to a cozy cafe slightly south of the old quarter to meet a friend. I ordered a yuzu matcha tonic, and it was really good. After about 2 hours of catching up, I headed back to the old quarter to rent an áo dài, Vietnam's traditional dress. I also added a simple hairstyle and makeup so I wouldn't look like I just rolled out of bed. That was just around the corner, so there were lots of locals and outside taking photos near the lake too. It was really cold that night, so I only managed to get a few decent shots before heading back to my Airbnb to change into something warmer. I went out again in comfy clothes for a late dinner at this kebab place right in the middle of Beer Street, then went back home to sleep. The next day, I went for an early brunch at this Michelin Guide bunche spot in the Old Quarter. I ordered a full set with grilled pork, two traditional fried spring rolls, rice noodles, and an egg chocolate drink. The food did not disappoint. It was really good. Right after I finished eating, it started raining, so I had to buy an umbrella. I continued walking around the Old Quarter and visited another branch of Tired City. This one was way bigger than the one I went to earlier, and after almost an hour inside, I finally bought something. I kept shopping around the area too. I got scrunchies, coasters, fridge magnets, and eventually went for a light lunch. I've already had banh mi earlier in the trip, and this time I was only craving for the bread, so I ordered a plain one with condensed milk on the side. I walked around the area, spotted some really interesting street murals, and remembered this cute cafe I saw on TikTok. So I went there, got myself a hot chocolate drink, and fully embarrassed myself trying to pose for this vlog's thumbnail. I also went to Train Street and arrived just in time. It wasn't anything mind-blowing, but hey, bucket list checked. I spent the rest of the night having dinner with some people and then strolled around the Old Quarter again. It was super lively, but I was freezing, so I headed back to sleep and packed for tomorrow's flight back to KL. I woke up early to finish packing and tick off the last bits of this trip before booking a grab to the airport. Immigration was surprisingly fast, though I had to queue for about 10 minutes at security. I wasn't in a rush, so I didn't mind. I still had almost 2 hours before my flight, so I walked around and checked out some shops. Honestly, the airport is really nice, and there are plenty of stores if you want a last-minute shopping. I spotted some massage chairs not too far from my gate and sat there for about 20 minutes to kill time before heading to the boarding gate 30 minutes before my boarding time. I was flying with Vietnam Airlines, and I got confused when I realized I was seated in a premium seat even though I booked a normal one. No one kicked me out, so I accepted the blessing and told myself it was probably a random seat assignment. Takeoff was smooth. I slept through most of the flight, woke up for the meal, which was really good, then slept again until the announcement that we were landing soon. We touched down around 7 p.m. KL time. I grabbed a quick dinner and headed home. And that's everything I got from my Hanoi trip. See you guys next time. Bye!